Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at a two-player trick-taking game, the sequel to Claim. This is Claim 2. In this game, just like in the original, you are going to have a set of fantasy creatures, and you are going to be playing tricks just with two players in order to control some characters, and then for the second part of the game, use those characters to control the different clans, the different groups of characters. Control more of them at the end of the game, you win the whole thing. It's a very straightforward card game. It's one that can even be combined with the original set, which I'll mention a little bit in the overview here. But let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. We'll come on back. I'll tell you what I think of it. The game is going to be played over two phases. During the first phase, we are going to play tricks in order to recruit followers. During the second phase, we're going to pick up those followers and again play tricks in order to control factions, gather support from the factions. Whoever controls more of the factions is going to be the winner of the game, and there are 5 of those, all right? So, during the first part, you are dealt 13 cards, each player. The rest of the cards are shuffled and set aside. And then we begin by displaying a card from the deck, in this case, 5 of the Dragons faction. And then the start player is going to lead a card. So, for example, I might lead this 7 of Giants here. And then my opponent has to follow suit if at all possible. So they will play this 1 of Giants. I win that. These are set aside and out of the game. I win this card and put it in my followers pile. My opponent simply gets whatever the top card of the deck is. We reveal the next one. And again, I won that trick, so I lead again. This is going to continue until we run out all 13 of these cards. That means we will gather 13 cards, either the one that's revealed or one from the top, into the followers deck, and then we'll play that as our new hand. We'll just pick that up and play again 13 tricks with the players who win normally taking both cards that got played into the trick and putting that directly into their score pile to be compared at the end of the game, all right? Now, besides that, of course, the 5 different factions have special powers listed right here. So during the first phase, right now, there are 2 of them that apply. The dragons, whoever plays, if a dragon is played, whoever the leader of the next trick is, was whoever played that dragon. It doesn't matter if you won or lost, okay? And then the seers, if you win with a seer, you get to peek at this card and then decide if you want to take the one that's revealed or the one here. Your opponent gets the other one, all right? So again, it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and play an 8 dragon here for that one. My opponent is going to play a 1 dragon there, and I win this. My opponent wins that, but they will lead. They are the ones who played a dragon last. So we go ahead and do this. My opponent here is going to play a seer. And I will follow. Let me see, do I have any seers? Indeed I do. I have a 0 there. They win that. So they get to peek at this card, and they will take this one. They like that better, so I get that. But if that had been better, of course, they could have taken that for themselves. And again, this continues until these are all gone and our hands are depleted. And then we pick this up. Now, new powers are going to be in effect for that second phase. We have the gnomes, the giants, and the trolls. So the trolls work like this. Whenever there's a trick for trolls, so I play that, and my opponent plays this one. Again, we're assuming here we're in the second phase. This stack would be gone, and these would be in our hands, okay? Whoever wins gets a single troll. The other one is left over for whoever wins the very next trick. So this goes in my score pile. That's locked into play now. And then I would play. So I won that, I would play. So that's how trolls work. The giants and the gnomes are linked. Whenever you play a gnome and you win a gnome, then you are going to put those in front of you instead of directly into the score pile. And it's possible that if your opponent wins giants that match these values, they are going to squish your gnomes. Now, any gnomes in front of me at the end of the game do go in my score pile. But if my opponent, let's say I play, my opponent later on gets to play a giant. Let's see if they have any giants that might hurt me here. let's say I've got, they play that giant there, and let's say I had this in front of me from earlier, okay? So they play this giant. Well, that's the only giant I have, so I have to follow suit. They win with these two. I don't have a 9 in front of me, but I do have a 3, so they're squishing this guy. Squish. He's gone. These go in their score pile, and they lead the next one. Again, at the end, these go in here. Also, whoever would have won that next trick after that would have taken this. They sort of, you leave one behind, and it goes to whoever wins the next trick. And then at the end of the game, we just compare how many of each group we've got. There are 5. So if I have more trolls than you, then I control the trolls. And if I control 3 of the 5 factions, well, then I win the whole game. That's all there is to claim. You can also, by the way, combine claim here with the first claim 2 with the original claim game. The backs are going to match. This is the original deck here. So you can make whatever deck you want with whatever factions you like and play a modified game using all of the powers you prefer, so that you can customize the whole thing. So there you go. That is Claim 2. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. And that is Claim 2. I already did a review for the original Claim, so you can go check that out if you want to hear my thoughts on the first one. But they are basically echoed in this review. It's really more of the same, which ultimately I think is my only complaint about this, which is not really a complaint. I like being able to mix the first and the second, make your own deck. Everything else I like in this game. I like the theme in this game. Yes, it's fantasy. It's sort of, a silly theme, but it works well. And having the different groups of characters, the powers they are given, work pretty well for me. So I like those thematic ties. The aesthetics, I think, are great. I love the look of this. I had a small complaint in the original one where I found the icons in the corners, the index of the cards to be a little hard to spot. They're still a little hard to spot in this. Again, it's more of the same. That's not a major problem, but yes, they're a little hard to tell apart. It shouldn't be too much of an issue once you've played a game or two. Replayability is very nice, especially when you combine it with the original, and that kicks up the replayability on both sets. Very cool. It's a short game, it's about 30 minutes or so, tops. It's easy to play. I find the new powers here to be different from the originals, which is good, but also easy to implement. None of them got too crazy in this second go around. Maybe if they made a Claim 3, the powers would have to get pretty weird to be different. So far, though, so good. And lastly, the tactics and strategy here are still really fun. It's still fun to allow your opponent, in this one especially, to get a bunch of those, whatever they are, that then get squashed, goblins, whatever they are, the ones that you can take and then get squashed with the giants. That's fun, where, you let your opponent get a few of those, you have a strong hand in giants, and you're just going to squish them later on. Gives them a false sense of hope. That's always fun. So I really like this little card game. Again, combining it with the original one makes a lot of sense. I would certainly recommend, if you're interested in these, I honestly would just pick up both at the same time so that you can make your ideal deck from both of these together. And you could technically now play more than 2 players. That's fine too if you combine them. I like the fact that this is a true 2-player trick-taking game. How many of those do we have? There's very few. So Claim 2 is just as good as the first one. I would recommend you get both. This one gets a strong seal of approval from me. Definitely, if you are looking for a 2-player trick-taking game, you don't have a lot of options. There's the Fox in the Forest, there is Claim, and now Claim 2. I would recommend Claim and Claim 2 together. I think it's going to give you a nice amount of variability and replayability. So again, seal of approval for Claim 2. I'm Zee Garcia. Thanks for checking this out with me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.